is going on, guys? You're here with your boy Crisis. This is a banner. If you guys didn't see on Twitter earlier tonight, I made for Pro APOC. Now, just like all my really good banners, I get about halfway through and I'm like, oh my fucking god, I forgot to fucking start the sweet art. And it's way too late to restart because I've done too much to it to fucking restart. So I'm already sweet art, and it's happened like 2 or 3 banners, and this is one of them. And I just love this banner so much that I decided to do this live com, if you want to call it that. And kind of tell you guys how I made it instead of like totally redoing it for another speed art. So this will just make it a little easier on me. So yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna explain to you like what I did. Obviously I started out like here. Let me show you. Hide all these layers right here. Oops. No, hide. Okay, I started out just like this, right? And then what I did is I added a smoke texture, and after the smoke texture, like it only went so far. I only went like right here and right here. Well, obviously I put the dude in first. I put him in first, and then I did smoke texture, put him over. Let's see, is this? Gotta take this off. Alright, put the dude in first. If you saw that right there, I'll explain to you in just a minute. Put the dude in first, and then I added smoke texture down here. And then I took a brush like this with 0 hardness, put it on white, and like just did like this to make this little edge glow right here. I'll do it on the top. Did just like that. Oh, oops, crap. I hate when I do that. Did just like that. But and I did it on the bottom. Then after I did the smoke texture, I did this up here, if you can see that. I took that same brush and I made it a little smaller, and if you look right here and right here, there's a little highlight on the shoulders. Watch. See that? And obviously at the top of his head right here. And of course at the top, right here on the top of the banner. Same thing as down here, I just made it a little smaller, a little thinner as I did down here. And I took that white brush and I made it really small, and I put it on these points to give them a little, you know, highlight, if you will, a little glow. Then after that, I took layer 6, and then I added these splatter effects. But what I did was I took my brush and say I found I have tons of splatter brushes. Like I didn't even know which one to use when doing it. 6. I don't think I used that one. Okay, let's just say I use something like, probably use this. Okay, I lowered it down about that much. Actually, this probably isn't one of the one I used. I used a smaller one. See, I was like narrower, and this one's like wider. But anyway, I used a smaller one. I started out white, and I put it behind him, the layer behind him, so it's coming out behind him, obviously. And I just clicked, just like that. Use white, and I did that with white and red. There's not so much red on that layer. I think there's more. Yeah, this is. There's a little red layer in there, like right in here, but this one is mainly the red layer. And I just did the same thing, splattered. I didn't change the opacity or anything. I kept it close to him so it looked good and went like everywhere. Then I took layer 12. Where's layer 12? Okay. Alright, if you can see it, watch right here. Okay? And you can see it up here and down here and on the side a little. But look right here. You see these like hex tools? Or these hex brushes? That's actually Ocesso's brush pack. I actually love it. And I just like make a really faint hex backing behind the splatter. I mean, it doesn't add much, but it's enough to see, and it makes it look really good. Like even the smallest itty bitty things that you can't even see look really, really good. like on my splatter one that I just put up, like the backing is like really faint. But if I didn't have the backing, it'd actually look a lot different and it wouldn't look as good. So then you go to let's see, right here, you can see right here and right here there's bigger hexes, and those, you know, I just lowered the opacity for both the hex layers, or the tech layers, whatever you want to call them, but they're hexagons when I was saying hex. And I just lowered the opacity to the really faint, not like barely visible, I mean almost barely visible. Kind of hard to explain. You just have to play around with it yourself. Okay, and then you see this is another hex layer. I added one right here, one right here, and it's just, I changed the color to red and lowered the opacity not as much at all. Like this is 50, and these are like 2 and, oh, those are splatters, yeah, like 2 and 9. And then of course you have your guy. Alright, see these are the highlights I was talking about on his shoulders and on top of his head. Alright, now this is another highlight I did. If you see right here, oh crap, right here on layer 2, it's not, it's hidden, and there's a clipping mask on it, and there's also a hue and saturation on it, on the clipping, on the thing, so it's not as bright. But well, I mean, I wanted it to be bright, but actually the hue and saturation's over the guy, so he is a little more brighter. But anyway, I took the same thing with the highlights, as you see right here, these 3 dots right here. I took those highlights, and instead of putting them on the edges this time, I actually put it over, and like you can see right here, along his arms, and right here, and even a little bit more on his head. And yeah, a little bit more on his head right in here, and on his arms. So I just added him a little more shine, like not really shiny, but a glow. And right here, alright, this is, alright, let's see, that's a back text. I think this layer 15 right here doesn't really do anything. I think I was messing around with something. I forgot to delete the layer, but I took everything off the layer, so it's just like a blank layer. I think the same thing for layer 17 too, because I was playing around with some stuff earlier. Okay, yeah, that. Okay, so then I did this. Now, if you'll see this the black splatter over the word, over the name APOC, it's layer 8 right here. If I just hide it, it'll go away. All I did was use another splatter brush, and then I created a clipping mask, and it clipping masked over the name. So now you can see this font isn't like a normal solid color font. That's because I added a bevel. Hold on, that's wrong. I added a bevel and emboss, so it kind of has that effect right there, that layer style. I don't really know what to call it, but it's an inner bevel on bevel and emboss. It's at 490 and 250, and I just changed these on here to a lighter gray and to a dark gray from black. That's about it all for that. And then of course the splatter right here, and then this is, I just made a copy of it, and actually no, it's this one. I just made a copy of it and put a color overlay, if I gave my words right, and then just use my arrow keys to the right and down to adjust it, so you know you have that little white backing on the text, so you know it adds pop to it. And then this, I just made another duplicate and I put it behind the whole thing, and I made it like a little bigger, as you can see right here. I made it a little bigger, and I changed the color to white, and I just turned the opacity down to 2, so it kind of looks like, you know, you have it fading in the back. You know, it's just gives it another style look. And then essentially it's the same thing for the pearl part right here. I made it white, I did bevel and emboss, and I did another copy, except since the text is white, I didn't add that like white drop back. So this one doesn't have a white drop back, but it has the fade text behind it, and as well as layer 9 right here, which is the splatter. Layer 11, there are these like lines that come out, these red lines right here. You notice them going around the text? Gives it a nice, gives the text, and it just complements the banner. And these look in like really, just something like that can make or break your banner. Really it can. And all I did for that was I used the little rectangle tool right here. I did like this, and I made it as thin as I could, and then I right click and I press fill, and then I did color, background color, whatever, but my background color is red. That's over this line, so I'm just going to click background color, and then after that deselect, and then what you can do is you can take it and you can control T and you can shift it and like make it thinner however you want with transform. Control T is the hotkeys for free transform. So yeah, so I just added those bars, and then after that I've added a few more hexes right here, if you can see them right there, and I think, yeah, you can see them right there. These are like on to opacity, they're barely there. And if you see this right here, it says Proud Leader Pro Chapters. It was right there, but I actually took it off because I talked to APOC about it. APOC. I talked to APOC about it, and we decided it looks a little cleaner without it. And I accidentally put leader instead of player because I was thinking wrong. But anyway, that's how you do it, guys. If you want me to do a tutorial on this style banner, it won't be this exact banner. It'll probably be like a different banner, but this same style. I'll do a tutorial. Just let me know, and I can do a tutorial on any of my styles. Be sure to. Ooh, wow, that's weird. Be sure to hit that freaking subscribe button, hit that like button, leave me a comment down below if you want me to do tutorials, and yeah, I will see you guys later. Peace.